Hi, this is Variety Chenevert for Akashi Media Podcast Live, giving you a commentary on the new Michael Jackson movie. I'm really curious about what's going to be in this new movie because this movie is going to be about the relationship that Catherine Jackson had with Michael. And I really hope that this movie has a better outcome than what other movies have had in the past dealing with Michael. And I really hope that this movie does not end with the ending of anything dealing with pedophilia. I have said it before that Michael lived in Detroit, Michigan, and he owned the MGM Casino with Don Barden, from Barden Cablevision. And they were business partners, and he also owned casinos in Atlantic City. So, in a lot of luxury apartment buildings that he had built and townhouses. So he was big in real estate as well in Detroit. So I'm really hoping from this aspect side of it all that there will be something more positive, of a better light shined on my brother Michael. And that's what I want. And also, I'm also going to be curious about what's going to be said about Joseph and his lifestyle in Detroit. Because in Detroit, I know for a fact that Joseph lived in a home that was like a two-family flat, and Mary Wilson was there, and a woman named Beverly. And then there was another woman named Gail Chapman, that was involved in his life there. And my sister, Yvonne Monique, lived there in the home. And I remember her coming over to my house. And she said, "Daddy, a pimp." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Daddy's a pimp." I said, "No, he's not." He said, "Yes, he is." And she was young back then. So anything that's dealing with Joe Jackson's life in Detroit, Michigan, my sister Monique would know firsthand because she lived in the household. So that's going to be interesting on how they portray this character with Joe Jackson for this movie, Michael. I'm very curious about that, if they're going to add any of these other elements about Joe's life, or if they're just going to keep everything in Gary, Indiana. Because there was a period of time that he did not live in Gary, Indiana. He was in Detroit, and so that was just like him having a second life. So anyway, that's something I'm very curious about. And also, I'm also curious about how it's going to pan out about Michael's relationships with women in Detroit, because I know of quite a few of his girlfriends that he had in Detroit. And he had one that was in Ohio, and then he had another one that was like three of them that were in Detroit area. And one particular one that I know he had a long-term relationship with, her name was Linda. Her name is Linda Young. She was the daughter of Mary Young. And he had a long-term relationship with her. She was a beautiful model, very beautiful woman. And he had been with her for a very long time. And so I'm just curious on how these relationships are going to pan out with Michael and his relationships with people in Detroit as well, or are they just going to keep everything in Detroit, not in Detroit, but in surrounded in Los Angeles and Gary, Indiana? Because I'm a sister, I know his girlfriends, so I'm just wondering how this movie is going to turn out this time around. But anyway, I just want to get a short commentary about the upcoming movie of Michael, which is being produced by Catherine Jackson this time, and the Michael Jackson estate. Stay tuned. Take care.